Check, check, check. Check one, check two. Am I coming through on the video? I hope so. Right. How are you? How's it going? How is life treating you? How is the world around about you? How are things to your left, to your right? Step it up, step it up. It's alright. You okay? Your friends okay? Your family okay? Do you even know? Do you even? What about your neighbors? Your neighbors okay? Are you sure? Do they need anything? Do they need anything? Crazy, huh? Crazy planet. Bit of a prison planet right now, actually. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. But you can't get off the giant rock as we hurtle through space. Ah, oh, the final frontier. I don't have a little intro story for you today, except the observation that I read a government-sponsored poll which said that only 4% of people in this country, in this free nation, would like to return to work. Only 4%. Oh, they're just messing everything up step by step. It's just to destroy this and then destroy this and then destroy this and then destroy this and destroy the schools and then we'll destroy the industries and then we'll destroy the roads and then we'll destroy the environment and they just we'll destroy the processes and we'll destroy your governing systems and we'll destroy your mind. But don't worry, we, the government, will give you everything that you need. You don't need bookshops. You don't need hairdressers. You need bike shops. Bike shops are essential though. Absolutely. Right? You don't need to go out for food. We'll get the army to bring it to your door. Look, that's what the army is for. Oh, and while we're here, right? Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Who are you gonna call when the police take you away? Who are you gonna call when the police arrest you? Who are you gonna call when you break social distancing by standing only 1.9 meters away from somebody? Who are you gonna call? Right? Yeah. I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to fight that. Right. Right, because the governments don't own the courts, do they? Checkmate, as they say. Checkmate. And don't forget you're a danger to the public if you don't wear a face mask, even though they don't work. But you're still a danger. Even when you get arrested by police officers who themselves are not wearing face masks. And you're not doing yourself a favor when you're covered in tattoos either. The scars of your past are all too visible in the present. The only thing you can control is your focus. That's why they want your attention. They want you to attend to them. Because that's the only essential employment. It's a ploy, right? At least it's meant to be. It's meant to be. A couple of headlines. Breaking news on Twitter. Chuck Calesto, Mexican. Andre, arriba, arriba. Um, is that even Mexican? I don't know. Mexican president calls for investigation into Fast and Furious. Do you even know what Fast and Furious was? Do you know? It wasn't a film. It was something else. The Fast and Furious scandal that has plagued the Obama administration. You know, I wonder about the names of things. Like if you Google Fast and Furious, you get the film series. You don't get the criminal activity. You get the film series, right? Like if you Google Garfield, you don't get the American president. You get an orange cat, right? I wonder about the choice of words and names sometimes. You can bury information as much as you can bury anything, right? As much as you can bury anything. As much as you can bury the fact that HASHTAGOBAMAGATE is TRENDING on the Little Bird forum, right? Meanwhile, we have a president of the world now because everyone is looking towards America for leadership. Don't get me wrong, he's a great leader. But these are troubled times. Troubled times. Transition to greatness, though. What a great tweet in troubled times. Master. He's a master of the social sphere. A master of the social sphere. Meanwhile, somebody posted today an American weather report where the weatherman explains how the military are dropping metals on people. I mean, can you even believe what's going on? Do you know? Do you care? Most people don't care. Most people don't care. Most people don't understand you need a Second Amendment to protect a First Amendment, just like you need a Plan B in case Plan A screws up, right? Just in case. Just in case. Just in case. John Burnett tweets at I am John Burnett. Black woman stands outside her home posing with all the firearms she owns to protect her son, who is standing in the window, and her family. But where's the husband? Well, he's taking a picture of the lady in the red dress. Wow. Playing Call of Duty for real, I suppose. Do you understand the value of the Second Amendment? Do you understand the value of a militia? Do you understand the value of giving a citizen the same power as an authority? Do you understand? Who are you going to call, right? Who are you going to call when you can't call the authorities because a large percentage of crime is committed by the authorities themselves? I used to work with some members of the police, and I can tell you where I was, the official statistic was 10% of criminal activity was carried out. The official statistic was 10% of criminal activity was carried out by the police themselves. So then you had the police investigating the police. Ah. Do you know that in many countries the police meet on a daily basis in the morning to discuss the quotas, and then they're sent out to gather revenue for the day? Do you know that's what the police do in many places? Do you understand? It's a revenue generating system. Some police offices and stations are run as businesses. Did you know that? You can generate money. Did you know that? Right. Of course, it all comes down to the individual at the end of the day, whether or not they're good or bad. It all comes down to the individual at the end of the day. Right? Right. You know, the other day an American police officer made a little video about the importance of protecting the Constitution and the amendments. He got fired right after it. He got fired. And then that begs the question, right? If the police are not going to protect the amendments, right? What hope do the people have? What hope? People, stop trying to amend the amendments, please, please. But society is bye bye, long gone, right? Long gone, long gone. Because through the education they have, I got to get to education today. I mean, hopefully I'm gonna get to it. We need to spray the kids with disinfectant before they come into the school because kids are the enemies. And of course, spraying chemicals onto kids is just a really, really sound, healthy idea. You know, only sick people want to make people sick. Right? Who's your guide? Who's your leader? You're going to take diet advice from a fat man? Nothing against fat people. Got friends who are fat, but I'm not going to take diet advice from them. No need to qualify everything. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Really, really. Engineering professor at the University of Arkansas. Arkansas, that's not corrupt at all, is it? Has been arrested by the FBI and faces up to 20 years in prison for allegedly hiding funding that he received from the Chinese Communist government. But it's not about China, really, is it? It's about the fact they influence, they control through the education systems. Through the education systems. And they control through the media systems and the social media. So many people getting deplatformed right now, right across the board. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Ka-ching. Press a button and people disappear. Paul Joseph Watson was deemed dangerous and deplatformed. And as with everybody who is deplatformed on these so-called social platforms, you never get a trial, you're never able to defend yourself, you never get to meet your accusers, they don't even need to provide evidence. It's all based on opinions of the gods. How do we fight back? By being entrepreneurs, by building businesses, by acting on our ideas. That's how we fight back. To make a difference, you have to make an effort. You know that? You have to make an effort to make a difference. If you don't, then you won't. If you don't, then you won't. But when? But now. The only time is now. You have that resource, that unforgiving resource. And you have those dreams. Dreams, like anything, are as real as anything else. As I mentioned already, Paul Joseph Watson tweeted, a new poll has revealed the vast majority of people in Britain are happy for the government-mandated lockdown to continue. And they are. They're sitting at home with 80% of their paycheck, playing one-handed games. Just 4% express a desire to see this lifted. And meanwhile, 300,000 people are starving to death every day worldwide because of the supply chain breakdown, according to the World Food Program. But you can stuff yourself full of monkey nuts, right? Feel good. Pass it round, pass it round. I saw a meme the other day of a plane flying and like where they would normally like be like so-called war plane flying over like a war zone, and where they would you'd normally see bombs dropping out of the plane. There was huge bushels of cannabis, hemp, marijuana, whatever. And I just thought, yeah, imagine if we gave peace a chance, right? Imagine if there was an alternative to the present reality. Imagine if there was a place called Belarus which didn't lock down, right? Imagine, and only experienced 135 deaths so far from what can't really be tested for anyway. Right. You would have had just as many deaths from car accidents, probably. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. If your country doesn't get back to work ASAP, you're DEAD on arrival. You know that. But many countries are already dead. That's the point. They're just waiting for people to announce the funeral. But then you won't be able to go because that would be a gathering, right? You can have meetings. You can still have meetings, but you can't have gatherings, right? And you can't let people see that you're having gatherings, right? Right? Too much. It's all too much. We let others define who we are, what we are. Unless we can hold in our hands giant pair of steel hairy things, right? It's funny. It's funny how somebody can be so wrong and so right at the same time. Have you ever noticed how that works out? Have you noticed? Have you noticed that the chaos just leads to more chaos, that the insanity just leads to more insanity? Meanwhile, Elon Musk, what a bizarre name that is, escalated his confrontation with California, reopening the Tesla car factory in Fairmont in defiance of local officials, and saying he is ready to be arrested for it. Yeah, I'm sure he can pay for that. Pay to get himself out, of course. But you know what? It's funny how people turn on their own. After critics called him callous and even racist for asking people to go back to work. Insanity. Having complained over the weekend about being the only car maker in the US still shuttered by the COVID-19 lockdown, Musk announced on Monday that Tesla is restarting production against Alameda County rules. I will be on the line with everyone else. If everyone is arrested, that's more of a Texas accent, and Tesla's South African. He come from somewhere in Africa. His father was involved in some dubious activities. Don't you know? Don't you know? It's interesting how the mantle is passed down through the generations. Um, if I had time, I'd go to Wikipedia and read about that, but I don't. You can. Tesla said, I will be on the line with everyone else. If anyone is arrested, I ask that it only be me. Do you see, that's leadership. That's leadership. Maybe your company doesn't really make any money, but that's leadership. The state has approved the factory to reopen, he explained, but an unelected county official illegally overrode that decision. Yes, yes. It's a problem when people are selected rather than elected, isn't it? Isn't it? But then do we know? Do we see? Do we understand? Do we pay attention to the devil that is in the details? Who are these people? Where do they come from? What do they want? What is their goal? Why is Melinda Gates wearing an inverted cross in her interviews? Does it matter? Or is it just for those that know? Meanwhile, everyone else just goes with the flow. Right? Because the government is full of grand schemes and ideas. Mirror.co.uk, another brilliant idea. Spray the kids with microbiome destroying chemicals. And then imagine what's going to happen. Reduce the kids' immunity, and then the headlines are going to read, second wave of coronavirus now attacking children as respiratory infections in the under 10s soar. Yep. Let's reduce natural immunity. Let's not talk about nutrition. Let's not talk about getting your vitamins and minerals from either, the natural food itself or the supplements, right? Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about using coconut oil for your body. Let's not talk about colloidal silver. Let's not talk about it, right? Let's not talk about the healthy mushrooms, right? Not the ones that blow your mind. But it's the teachers that want it, because teachers love their kids, and teachers want the kids sprayed with disinfectant at the school gates when they return, according to the people in the insane asylum. That would be a grand idea. Yeah, that would be a grand idea. Personally, I think normally it's annoying when people are ignorant. However, under present circumstances, mass ignorance would perhaps be preferable to mass obedience. Don't you think? Didn't we learn anything from the Ash and Milgram experiments? Didn't we learn anything from that? Yeah. I don't think we did, because if the shit storm hasn't woken you up, then you might not be sleeping. You might not be sleeping. You might not be sleeping. But it's okay, because the government has rules that everybody needs to follow. If you're a construction worker, you can go to a busy site with hundreds of others, but you can't take the bus to get there. You can chill out on the grass with everyone except family members. And remember not to sit in your neighbor's garden. And then it goes on and on, right? It's like a game. It's like a game. And now we're reaching the end of the first wave of the virus. It's now time to introduce quarantine, like it wasn't at the beginning, right? Idiots will defend their idiocy until their death. And beyond, probably. And beyond, the failure of people to admit the level of their own mistakes is it's unending, right? It's just It's unending. It goes on and on and on. Right? And they wear people down through the media. They take away their energy, their ability to comprehend. They flood the world with irrational ideas. Cartoon characters with heads like bananas. The fact that you can make a living from kicking a ball around a park. It's all madness. But we have to cover all bases, so let's play for both sides. And as the Sun reported, which is it? Roads and tubes are very busy around London after Boris Johnson tells Brits to go back to work. However, Dominic Raab says wait until Wednesday because the difference between Tuesday and Wednesday is the difference between life and death. Wonderful. Wonderful. And let's get people fighting with each other as well. And let's scare people shitless at the same time. Yeah, like I've noticed on LinkedIn that there's this new habit of people taking pictures of themselves in hospitals and telling everybody how bad they feel. It's really disturbing. What will be the next level of madness? I mean, imagine if you have pneumonia has basically the same effects as COVID, and it's very easy to get pneumonia from flu if you've got a reduced immune system, right? I've had it myself, and it's very uncomfortable, but I'm not going to take pictures of myself and scare people with them, right? I know what it's like to be, we've all been through it, right? We've all been sick and stuck in bed for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. It's happened to everybody. Most of us rise to the challenge. We get through it. We realize we probably got sick because we were pretty unhealthy and not getting what we needed. We had everything that we wanted, but nothing that we needed. Do 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 do. Yeah, just avoid the facts. Avoid the facts of how interesting it is that the mortuaries and funeral homes appear to not be recording a higher than average death count at the moment. Something's going on. Something's going on, and it's not the rent. It's not the rent. It's something else. It's something else. But hold on to your heads. Hold on to your hats. We're nowhere near. We're nowhere near. We're nowhere near where we need to be, right? We're not. There's a long way to go. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. It's a long way to paradise from here, right? That was a Stiff Little Fingers song. It is. It's a long way. It's a long way to paradise. It's also a long way to it's a long way to any kind of sanity from where we are. I haven't lost my mind yet, at least I don't think I have. And how would I even know if I did, right? How would I know if I did lose my mind? I know how I would know, because the government would tell me, oh, you've lost your mind. Straight jacket for you. One-way ticket. Thank you. Yeah, how would you know? How would you know if you lost your mind? The madness of it all. The madness of it all. The madness of it all. University students who've paid for their tuition that they haven't got, and the accommodation that they haven't lived in, can't go to university, but 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds and 11-year-olds can. I can go to school with many children if I'm a kid. I can go to school with many kids that I'm not related to, but I can't see children that I am related to. Can't have visitors. Can't come to my home. But it's okay because schools are going to strap helicopter wings to children's heads so that they don't get too close to each other. That's not a joke. It's not a joke. I've seen the letters sent to parents. You can sit in a park, but wait a minute. You have to wait until Wednesday, and Wednesday it'll be okay. You can't do it right now. But you will be able to on Wednesday. If there's still a place to sit and, they haven't put nails through all the seats, right? No, but seriously. You can meet one person from another household for a chat or to sunbathe, but you can't do sport with them because that would be silly, right? You can work all day with your colleagues, but you can't sit in their garden for a while to have a chat after work because it's all about sense, right? It's all about the sense of paying people not to work because that's sound economics. But don't worry because you can now do unlimited exercise, right? That solves all problems. Yeah, you can drive everywhere. You can drive to any destination that you need to, with a reasonable excuse. Except you can't, right? Because you're allowed to have excuses, but reasons are questionable. The buses are still empty running past my house, but I shouldn't get one because it's not safe, and we should just let empty buses drive around so bus drivers aren't doing nothing. Much madness. And of course kids go back to school first because they're notoriously good at not touching things that they shouldn't. Maintaining personal space and distance at all times. But it's okay because the government's got a scale. They got a warning system for us, right? And right now we're somewhere between 3.5 and 4.5 on a 5-point scale. 5-point scale where 5 is like we've all got it and we're going to die, and 1 is nobody has it and we're all fine. But 2, 3, and 4 can actually be anything that you want it to be, really. So we've got some of the virus and a bit of the virus and no virus and all the virus at the same time, depending upon which number we can see on the screen. I imagine they'll just have a little number in the corner of everything in the future, and that'll tell everybody how to behave. Well, it's a bit of a blue day today. They could use colors, I suppose, as well. Yeah, color coded, right? Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Crayons for everybody. Meanwhile, those over 70 who were told to self-isolate have done rather a bit too well, despite the government offloading coronavirus patients into care homes. Which it says it never did, but of course it did, right? But doctor surgeries and dentist surgeries, which should have been open all the time, are closed because somebody made a phone call and sent an email. Anyway, the slogan isn't stay at home anymore. So we don't have to stay at home, except we do, unless we can't, in which case we should go out. But there will be fines if we break the rules, so don't do that, because that's wrong as well. But that's okay, because the police now have the power to enforce whatever they think is good, which is just grand. Because insanity, right? Anyway, don't worry, wear a mask, because that helps you even though it prevents you from breathing in or out properly. That couldn't possibly have a negative effect, could it? But that's okay, because you can wear gloves, but you won't be able to wash your hands. And you wash your hands less when you wear gloves, right? At least you can cycle. You cycle nowhere, that's fine. But surfing is dangerous, and paddleboarding is dangerous, and driving your motor home to the middle of nowhere is dangerous. Meanwhile, stay alert, stay vigilant, even though you can't see what you're looking for. Of course, stay alert means stay at home, obviously. Control the virus even though you don't know where it is. Save lives unless you realize the knock-on effect from killing the economy, of course, and suicide rates skyrocket, and clap for the NHS, but not bus drivers or cleaners or shop assistants or fishermen. There we are. Right, we figured it all out now. We're in this together, and herd immunity is what we need. Not enough people are infected because they stayed at home, so maybe we should infect more people on purpose. But if that doesn't work, the vaccines are coming whether they work or not. Just trust us. Thank you. Good night. Sleep well. That's it. This is the level of insanity that we've reached. This is the level of insanity that we've reached. It's a trap. It's all a trap. It's all a trap. Real leadership involves taking risks. Risk is unavoidable on the path to progress. Right? Risk is just unavoidable. I was jogging through the forest the other day and tripped over a tree root and mashed my arm off a tree. You just keep going, right? You just keep going. If you want the bigger picture, the traps are being set up. There's no way out. There's no way out because one set of scientists say, you read the documents and look at Koch's postulate, right? That one set of scientists say there is no virus. It hasn't been isolated. You can't test for it. You can test for coronavirus, but there's many coronaviruses, so you're always going to test positive. And the fruits test positive, and the goats test positive, and the oil test positive, and your neighbor's car tests positive, right? The moon would test positive, the way that we're going. It's all insane. So there's on one side there's no virus, and on the other side you've got, and you'll find the doctors. You've got the man-made virus. Now, I'm not going to give you the names of the doctors because you can go out and find it for yourself. It's really not that complex. Yeah. And these are studious people. On the other side, it's man-made, right? Either way you lose because you instantly bank on one side of an argument which has an obvious other side. The only way through is to understand that you can't change the action of something existing, but you can choose how you react to it. And that's up to you. What you do is up to you. How you react is up to you. How you find your answer is up to you. But don't get trapped in the lose-lose scenario. But then winning is not always what we think it is. Winning is not always what we think it is. Right? Thornbury Primary School in England had a plan to have a 2-meter ruler taped either to children's heads or waists to ensure that they were all practicing social distancing. I mean, really? They've already done it in China. I've seen and it's scary what they've done. They got like brain reading kind of headsets or headbands or helmet things that kids have to wear in China that tells the teacher when you're not focused enough. Right? I'm pretty sure it can be tweaked to give you a little electric shock as well. Yeah, because China's the model, right? Yay! Praise China. Well done. Well done, guys. Well done, guys. Oh, we can't say that. We can't say that that's where the virus comes from, because that's RAC. It's racy, isn't it? It's racy. Funny, huh? Funny how they'll attack anyone. They just we don't debate anything anymore. We just launch our missiles. This is it, right? This is it. Here's a study. This is the ahtribune.com. Do masks and respirators prevent viral respiratory illnesses? It's very interesting, because sometimes what we think is logical is not. Some things are very counterintuitive in life. And there are a lot of potential health hazards from restricting natural airflow. I mean, constricting breathing obviously is a problem. The fibers and chemicals in masks, obviously a problem. The size of particulates is obviously a problem. I've covered that before, so if you don't know that wearing a mask is unhealthy for you, I mean, it's a sign of idiocy, basically. It's I'm prepared to conform to everything and everything that's been laid out and laid down and set forth, and I'm prepared to take my head off and put it on a shelf for a while. Like, the people are like chickens with their heads cut off right now. They really are. Meanwhile, back on the other side of town, Forbes.com reports on the future of air travel. Of course, there won't be any, right? You've had enough freedom for the last 100 years. We're here to reverse everything. 4-hour processes, self-check-in, disinfection, immunity passports. There's not much different from what we already have, is it? Still, it's worth highlighting. It's worth highlighting. Digital technologies and automation will play a crucial role in the future of air travel, and need to reduce touch points at airports implies mandatory use of biometric boarding that allows passengers to board planes with only their face as a passport. You're not going to be allowed to even touch people. And you're not. It's now. It's just you can't touch anybody. No kissing. No. You know what that's going to do psychologically to children? It's going to kill children. It's going to kill. You're not bothered by that. You're not bothered by that at all. No. No. I just going to go along to get along. Doesn't matter how many people get hurt, right? Just going to go along to get along because authority is always right. Doesn't matter how many people get hurt, right? Right. They need to reduce touch points. The face will be the passport, right? Right, because we need passports, right? Because passports were only temporarily introduced as documents during the First World War. It was a temporary measure, but of course it became permanent like everything. And this is a war, remember. As long as you stay safe at home and do what we tell you to do, we won't cart you away. Right? You won't be counting the bars. The straight ones. A number of airlines, including British Airways, Qantas and EasyJet, already are using the technology. You see, it was in place already. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council. Did you know there was a council for World Travel and Tourism? Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? The new normal at major airports such as Heathrow, JFK, and Singapore, Shanghai will include almost exclusive use of online check-ins and contactless payments, and it'll be a hassle, and you'll need your vaccines and your pass, um, color-coded apps for your phone, and meanwhile, if you're rich, you can fly anywhere you want privately and it doesn't matter, right? Then there's the radical changes that airports will have to make, starting with stopping non-flyers from entering at all except for unaccompanied minors or others who need assistance. Oh yeah, the control of human movement. The control of human movement. They will need more extensive all biometric check-in systems and efficient DIY and for dropping off bags, travel bubbles and funnels for disinfection. After being checked in, luggage may also be put through a disinfection fogging tunnel. They also must install demarcation of the spaces for social distancing in corridors and concourses, larger spaces for queues, and this is everything that was in every dystopic film in the 1980s and 90s. Everything. This is everything that was in every dystopic film. Everything. Right. Social distancing and larger spaces for queues and waiting. Yeah, you'd be like queuing around the airport, right? It's just not practical. Plexiglass or other protective barriers at customer services counters, hand sanitation stations, thermal scanning to check crowds for fever-grade body temperatures, which already are in use. Yeah, I know they're in use because I've been asked questions at airports, right? I've been asked questions at airports. How are you today, sir? Are you feeling okay? And and they would only be asking certain questions if they had certain information, right? They would only be asking if they had information from the scans. Only those fit to fly. Oh, you fit, right? Back to the essential, non-essential principles, right? Back to social Darwinism. Only those fit to fly will be allowed to enter, predicts the airline strategy firm Simply Flying, in making it more complicated for everybody, where it identifies more than 70 different areas in the passenger journey that are expected either to... It's micromanagement of everything. It's your life completely micromanaged by somebody who doesn't know you, and it's not for your benefit. Yes. 70 areas in the passenger journey are expected to change or be introduced from scratch, including having bags sani-tagged after going through. Oh my gosh. Yes. They're turning the whole world into a biological experiment. It's like turning the whole world into some kind of laboratory or something. Pure madness, pure madness. But then, as was said or written by Charles Mackay in Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds, men, it has been well said, think in herds. It will be seen that they go mad in herds as well, or they only recover their senses slowly, one by one, by one, by one. Don't you know? Don't you know? Well, people remain oblivious and unaware of what is happening really out there, because they're not going out anymore. They won't see the things. They won't see the new towers going up. They won't ever know what's hidden in the shadows, right? They won't ever know. That's right. Sit down, watch your BBC. Who ran it for years? Why did they run it? Yeah. Do you have any ideas what your kids are looking at? Do you have any idea what your kids are watching? Do you have any idea what it's doing to their brain? Do you know that your phone reprograms the brain? If you give a phone to kids, it will reprogram the neural pathways there. Crazy, right? Crazy. Crazy. Do you want me to go on? Do you want me? Do you want to know more? It's about empowerment, really. That's what the information is about. It's about saying there's a storm coming. It's about saying there's a storm coming. It's on the horizon. And you can weather the storm if you prepare yourself accordingly. The storm has been coming for a long, long time. But now is the time to do something about it. Now is the time to change your ways. Now is the time to step up. Now is the time to use the knowledge you have. Now is the time to help people around about you. Now is the time. And the time is now. Now is the time to reach out and connect. Now is the time to send messages to people. Now is the time to send out your emails. Now is the time to make little videos. Now is the time to use the tools that you've been given. Do you notice how so many of the tools on the internet were just given out for free and still are? Do you think that's by accident? Do you think that's by chance? You were being prepared, right? Of course, in the games, in the little games that they play, they make you pay for it sometimes. Of course they do, right? Of course they do. The madness of paying to live on the planet that you're born on. Who do you pay to? Why do you pay to them? Where does it all go? Where do the finances get siphoned off to? Who knows? Who's counting? Who is counting? Who understands? Who plays the game? Who is in the arena? Who is in the arena? Only by being in the arena can you make a difference. Only by being in the ring can you win the fight. And now we're all in. It's all in. It's all in. It's all or nothing. We can have a balanced future. We can have a holistic future. But you have to do something about it. Action beats inaction. The active beats the passive. Right? You're in control. You're in charge. You go out. You make that change. You do it. You've only got yourself to blame if it doesn't work out. My name's G. I represent the Academy. You can find more information under Graham William Hendry on Facebook. There's actually 5 Facebook pages. You might be able to discover them if you hunt around. You also find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. Check out the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching for as long as it exists, because every day more and more sites get pulled, which is only going to silo people into their corners. What are you going to do when you're backed into a corner? What are you going to do? Right. If you've got any tips, send them to me. If you've got any articles, send them to me. If you don't agree with me, let me know. I'm happy to debate. Intelligent minds are able to understand other ideas, other perspectives, able to pick them up, turn them around, look at them in different ways. Wherever you are, I wish you a fantastic day. Take care of yourself, and remember, tell the ones that you love that you love them. Speak soon.